Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is another video, and today, well, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to be trying our hand at the A-10C Warthog. I have one already prepared here, it's but not started of course, and it's recently armed. I've been actually trying it for the past days. I've been kind of keeping away from it. I guess I was scared of it because it's too complex, but I mean, little by little, I'm able to start it up, land it, and at least marginally acceptable drop bombs, so I guess it's not the end of the world. Well, the A-10 is a pretty iconic aircraft. It's the only, I think, dedicated close air support aircraft of the US Air Force, and it came around in the early 1970s, has gone through several upgrades and iterations. This is the C version, which is available for DCS. It's a dedicated close air support aircraft. It can carry, bombs, missiles, guns. Here I have it in a very basic configuration with a lot of Mark 82 bombs, namely 9 of them, 4 rocket pods, an ALQ-131 pod, and 2 AIM-9Ms. Even though I don't need them, I just put them on out of habit. So we're going to go with the startup. This is a bit more complicated than the Viggen, which is 4 buttons basically, if you don't count in the computer programming. So here we go. This is, I'm basically a practical learner, so I have read through the manual somewhat, a little bit, maybe, and everything else I've learned on my own. So here we go. Of course, like any aircraft, we're going to make sure we have power, so we're going to put preventively the AC generators on. Here we have the fuel panel. We're going to put up the boost pumps for the wings and main tanks. We're also going to set the main battery to on and main inverter to standby. So now we actually have power. We're going to actually be using ground crew in this case. And let's
Chief, turn on the ground power.
Ground power.
Copy. Ground power is now
okay. On. To signal the ground crews that we're preparing to start, we're going to put on the anti-collision formation. Well, position flash, formation lights, and we could also turn anti-collision lights on, but apparently they don't work. Well, anyway, next we're going to set the oxygen on. So the pilot actually has oxygen when we start, and then we're going to need to start the APU. But we're not going to start the APU next. We're going to start preparing the system. So we're going to set the computer on, JTRS, and this to test. We're going to engage the pre-flight bit, then the navigation system to on. I'm also going to prepare the radio navigation system. I'm going to power this up and set it to 110.30. This is the ILS instrument landing system. You might have heard me talking about it before. This actually comes with an ILS system. Just Mirage 2000 also has it. We're going to set this to the Batumi TACAN so we can actually find our way back to the station. So it's channel 16. Just receive for now. We're waiting for the
pull up.
CDU here to start up.
Altitude.
The plane is performing, it's basically testing itself, so it's just a software test that the plane does on startup. Alright, next we need to align the INS navigation system, so we're going to go to click INS and align, and we're going to prepare our onboard computer. We're going to turn on our multifunctional displays, and here we're going to click load all. This is the same as loading a data cartridge in a Viggen. Basically, the mission operator gives us the data, and then we put in the cartridge in the plane, and we start loading it. I'm going to arm the anti-skid system, so I don't just veer off when I start the engines. It's just preventively. Okay, here we have the HUD informing us that the flight testing is complete, no failures found, continue. And then this is actually a very intuitive interface. We can just exit and just leave it like this for now. You saw the asterisks here basically disappear, and now they reappear. This means basically loaded the data, so I'm going to set this to TAD, but it's not set up yet. So I'm going to go to the digital storage weapon system, and let's see. Oh well, seems I loaded uneven weapons. Well, that's perfectly fine. We're gonna try these air drag bombs also. So what this plane supports is basically weapon profile. So in other aircraft like the Vegan, you can set your bombs, or the F5, you can set your bombs to be released in pairs, in ripple, quantity, separation, and so on. You can do the same in the A-10, it's just a more advanced user interface. So we're going to focus on this panel here. And okay, we're thinking we would like to drop stations 4 and 8 at the same time, so we're going to select them. We're going to choose profile, so see prof here. And then we're going to see what the default profile that's loaded for the bombs. So it's on pylon, alright. Then next we're going to drop these in pairs. We're going to set these as nose fusing, and we're going to use CCIP. So CCIP is constantly computed impact point. It's basically the aircraft constantly calculates where the bomb will impact, and it will help us aim the target. And we can actually save these settings. We can also, of course, change this to other modes other than pairs, ripple single or ripple pairs, one pair, and we can set them with an interval of feet in between, but we're just simply going to set them to a pair release and save the profile. Let's see. Then we're going to go to the stat page. So if we check the profile here, it's saved. Next, we're going to choose the Station 6 Mark 82. Well, this is going to remain on the default profile. Now, the Mark 82s on Station 7, we're going to try to change the profile. Ripple Singer, see? And we're going to set the nose and tail separation. We can actually use this UFC here. But we need to also set this to CDU to see if our nav system is aligned. I guess we can already use it. No, we cannot. CCIP consent. I have not used that before. And I'm not going to use it this time. I'm just going for manual release. Let's wait for the nav system. It's loaded already, so let's set this to up. Now the HUD is in a usable state, and we're going to enter a value here. We're going to put these 50 feet apart. No, not ripple quantity, my mistake. Ripple quantity 3 and 50 feet. Even though I'm not sure exactly how much that is, we're going to say save these. Now for the air bombs, we're going to do a similar thing. We're going to ripple. We're going to put them in a quantity of 3 and with 50 feet. And we're going to save the profile. Now these are stored in the computer. And finally we have the rockets, which we can actually select all of them. And we're going to set a common profile for all. We're going to set them as ripple pairs, and we're going to set these to 2 and here, mode CCIP, and we're going to save. Now, one thing we can also check is our maneuvers that we're going to perform each time we exit. So here we have set as climb, minimum altitude for release. We can also set more advanced parameters, but no point in doing it, so we're just going to go with the default. Weapons off, so because our master arm is also off. Okay, finally we can continue with the actual startup sequence, because we've already set the plane to what we need to. We can start the APU, and let's also use our radios in this situation. I will have to move these throttles forward a bit so I can actually see what I'm doing. find here. I don't have a VR headset, so I'm gonna set this UHF radio 1 to transmit receive, and we're gonna set the frequency to the TUMI frequency, which is 131 megahertz. Here we're gonna turn this on, and we're gonna leave it 251. This is the AWACS system. I've already done the pre-flight checks, but IFF on, and we're gonna set the mode Charlie to something. This is the same as civilian airliners use, by the way, so we have that set up as well. Now let's reset our cockpit view to here. Now we can our engines aren't started yet, so we're gonna give it APU power, so this is gonna start screaming. Yes, I know. We're gonna close the canopy. Alright, now we're going to begin the fun part. The left engine. We just set the navigation system on, so engine 1 is starting. That would be the left engine. Here we can move this to TAD, which is a navigational map. I'm gonna monitor the engine.
Overlord, passing waypoint 2 at
Okay, it's
47.
stabilized. Next we're gonna start on the power up the right engine. You can see it here. Here's the actual exhaust temperature. We're using the power from the APU to basically pump compressed air into the engines so we can start them up. It's a pretty standard APU, nothing really weird. And let's prepare for takeoff. We're going to set the course to 310. Heading bug, we won't bother with it. Okay, engine is stabilized. Our generators have kicked in, so we can already turn off the APU. APU is off. Next, we're going to start on the stabilization systems. Set the takeoff trim and arm the ejection seat. Well, I should have done that first. Now there's two little buttons here that are behind the throttles that I can't really access very well, and I have not had key on them, so we're going to turn the radar altimeter and the Enhanced Attitude Control System, EAC, which requires the stabilization systems to be active. And we have no lights, we're clear to go, but we are also going to turn on the countermeasure systems. So we are now set. Let's see. We will turn on the taxi lights to the upper position. Or was it? No, lower is. Let's check. Yeah, lower is taxiing. We see on the radar warning receiver that we have an E3 around. It's an AWACS that I have on the map. And we're going to set the backup ADI. We could, of course, bother to talk to Batumi, but
Airfield 1-1. Request startup.
Anyway, I've already set the barometric altimeter to the airfield's pressure. Now I'm going to turn on the nose wheel steering so we can actually move the nose gear. And we're going to start rolling to the taxiway. The practice range is the same old one. You've seen me fly this mission many times, but this is my practice range. So we're going to push the throttle a little bit forward.
What are you doing?
Oh, we forgot to disconnect the ground power. My mistake.
Chief, turn off the ground power. Copy. Ground power is now
Now
off.
we can move. I actually forgot. I usually don't start with ground power, but this time I did. The main focus of the mission is mainly practicing the bombing. So we're gonna go for try to do accurate passes. We should have enough fuel to loiter in the area for quite a while. I haven't taken any external fuel tanks. The beeping in the background is the TACAN radio and the ILS. My outside view has the data in kilometers per hour, inside view has knots, like the normal. Alright, we're over 50 knots. I'm going to disable the nose wheel steering. And start going up. We went actually quite slowly up because the plane itself is quite heavy. And now we're just simply going up and minding our own business, or minding our own business. We're going to climb to about 2,000 feet, then we're going to turn to the right at a heading of about 330. We're going to continue our climb to about 7,000 to 8,000. That's usually the altitude I drop bombs from. And we're going to try to continue yesterday's exercise. Yeah, we're doing about 200 knots, which should be fine. Okay, 2,100 feet, I was a bit slow. And let's turn about 340. Continue our climb. I'm not using the autopilot, by the way, I'm just flying everything by hand, so... As you can see, the cockpit itself is actually very quiet. You don't really hear much. And I'm sorry if the beeping bothers you, but I like keeping it on. Let's at least disable the ILS. I have no need for it at the moment. the TACAN can stay on. We can use the ILS when we return to the airfield. And then we go 4,000 feet. I mean, the HUD is pretty standard. It has a heading tape on the lower side, pitch, I guess, tape, altitude, speed, and all sorts of numeric and all sorts of statuses that it wants to show us. Here would be the next waypoint, but we don't have waypoints, so it's the airport. And I guess we are about the right place. So our first goal is to eliminate the helicopters that are parked on the runway. That's our primary objective. Then we deal with the rest of the ground forces. I've already set the master arm on and the ground targeting pod, and I'm going to switch the mode to CCIP. And as I prepare to go into the target, I activate the storage system, and I will use the bomb on station number 6 first. Station number 6 is the one exactly on the belly of the aircraft, center belly of the aircraft. Now we know the aircraft. We have information that the helicopters are somewhere on the runway, so we're gonna keep climbing a bit more. There you see that dotted line. That's our bump fall. It will lead us to basically our CCIP pipper. And we're leveling off, we're approaching the target. We're gonna basically go nose down first. And until we see a circular pipper that we have to place over the target and then release the weapon. That's pretty much all there is to it. The bomb has already been programmed, so I did that while we were on the ground, so we don't really need to worry much about. We're already starting a very shallow dive. And I'm going to zoom into my HUD so I can actually see where I'm aiming. And I can actually see the 2 helicopters there. I'm going to keep her nose down. Try to interpose the dotted line over the target. There's the pipper. And that was I'm going to abort the pass. That was missed, so I'm not going to waste a bomb on that pass. I'm going to simply climb again, turn around and try again. Yeah, turn around and try again, of course. And we're turning. What I do like about this aircraft, it has very good visibility from the cockpit. And now we're going to zoom in again to the HUD. And now we're going to try to go straight for the helicopter closest to us, which is the one closer to the X, to the center of the runway. Peeper's gonna show up soon. There's the peeper. The main goal is to get the peeper on top of the helicopter. And we can observe the bomb. Well, we hit close enough. Perhaps I should have released sooner, but... And we've lost station number 6, so... Let's see. Okay, let's go for another pass. We're gonna activate station 7, which, if you remember, was set to a ripple of 3. So it's going to release all 3 of them. We're gonna turn to the southeast, do a swing around and come in, and hopefully catch both helicopters, or at least as close as possible. So we're gonna fly back towards the airfield, level off, and keep climbing. Yeah, our radar warning receiver is quite noisy, but and we're gonna perform a climbing turn. Target is to our right.
Pull up, pull up.
And we can check our scorecard here. guess we sort of missed. We did hit the target, but and let's check the profile for this weapon. It's set to single. We're gonna set to pairs, nose, and save the profile. We're gonna go to stat again, and we're gonna try to release both bombs on the next pass. Sorry, I'm quiet. I'm simply just looking around for targets. I know where the targets are, so. Actually, I think in a real war situation, a real battle situation, if I had hit that helicopter so close with the Mark 82, it wouldn't really be in one piece anymore. Well, at least it wouldn't be operable. And we're going to turn into the APCs that are on the road. Let's zoom into that HUD. We're quite low already. And I'm going to go around. This was a bad approach to the target. Now we're gonna turn out to see if those APCs scattered. They usually do when you go for them. And there's one at the intersection and another one right next to it. Let's see which one are we taking. Oh, let's see, there's one on the road.
Pull up, pull up.
Okay, our station's empty, so let's go for the stations 4 and 8. Let's check our profile.
Overlord, passing waypoint 3 at 40,000.
Pull up, pull up.
And finally we have our last bombs. We're gonna check our profile. Apparently I'm having trouble keeping this steady for some reason. Might be because the plane is a bit weight imbalanced. There's more stuff on the left side than on the right side.
Warning, autopilot.
Yeah, I know. I haven't even used the autopilot.
Pull up, pull up.
And seems we keep missing my approach as well. I am actually quite tired. I haven't slept well in 2 days and I'm also quite sick. But, nothing's gonna keep me away from the virtual cockpit, I guess. I should be sleeping, resting, or something like that, but I just don't want to, really.
Pull up, pull up.
Hmm. Okay, let's check our weapon profile again. Let's set this to CCRP. Save. Let's see if I remember how to do the CCRP in the A10. Most likely I don't. There we go. The CCRP mode seems to look a bit different. The paper. I guess I would have to lock on a target. So let's see if we can lock on something. Well, lock. At least indicate the target I would like to hit. Let's take that. And the bombs didn't release because I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay, if we go back to stat, what? Release aborted. Okay, let's... Now I have no idea how to cancel the error message, so... Again, I should really read the manual. What? It's so...
Overlord, passing waypoint 4 at 40,000.
It's 700 pages of it. I mean, come on, I barely read the F5 and I have a printed copy of it.
Pull up, pull up.
Well, I have no idea how to cancel this.
Pull up, pull up.
I guess there's some issue with these bombs. I haven't really used the Mark 82A before, so I'm really unaware what I'm supposed to do with them. Well, we're gonna switch to rockets. The whole HUD now changes, and it has a rocket aiming paper. And we can turn around. Let's zoom in because I don't see anything mostly. I have really bad eyesight nowadays. I used to have much better, but
Pull up, pull up.
and let's pull up indeed. As you can see, I'm actually dodging a lot of fire here, so trying to climb as fast as I can so I can actually come around for another pass. Apparently switching the weapons and trying to shoot something else solved the problem, and apparently we're banking to the left for some odd reason. We have no indications of anything that might be wrong. Yeah, let's do another hard right.
Pull up, pull up.
Let's try to saturate the area with rockets. Let's see how that works.
Altitude, altitude.
And there we go, we got hit. Wow, that was these guys talking to each other. I mean, they just shot my wings clean off. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm still practicing with this plane. It's difficult. As you can see, I have no idea how to do certain things at all. I need to have changing profiles on the fly. For some reason, they're not saved, or I'm doing something wrong, most likely. But yeah, that's the A-10. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.